You're still watching Today with John and Helen live, a family conversation where we impact, motivate, and inspire you to become the very best version of you.
That's so much on point there, John. And seated right here in the studio with us is our next guest, a Nigerian committed to research and continuous learning, an educationist, the pioneer and current chairman, Atlantic Layout Estates, and an amalgamation of 5 big estates and 64 mini estates here in Nigeria. Our guest has over 20 years experience in aviation and travels. But beyond his professional experience, Amala Ebenezer Mbamalu is also actively engaged in philanthropic endeavors. And to help us with the topic impacting local communities, contributing to national development is the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Meklons Group, Amala Ebenezer Mbamalu. The communities definitely are in need of intervention, especially at a time like this. And so we would like to thank you so much for the work that you do while we welcome you to our studios.
The pleasure is mine.
How are you?
I'm fine, Helen.
Good to know.
I'm even wondering how Helen was able to sail through their names in a very safe way. So tell us, it's Amala
Yes.
Mbamalu.
Amara in the perspective that is the way my own side of the Eastern region pronounce
What's the
it.
meaning of that?
It's grace.
Oh,
It still stands with the same thing with Amara. But some use L, some use R.
Ah,
You understand?
interesting.
Just like your former president, they call him Ebele. But the most known is Ebere.
Ebere.
But both parents are saying the same thing at the same time.
Okay,
It's just the different pronunciation
Culture,
because of
names,
the region.
traditions.
okay.
Beautiful.
So, Mr. Mbamalu, your diverse professional background is really, really fascinating, I must say. Tell us, how has your journey influenced your approach to community engagement and philanthropy, which you've been quite prominent with?
Yeah, Mr. John, the truth is that my journey started in the corporate world, and I make sure that I impact the community starting from my office, making sure my workers are in United States always, having harmony among themselves, and properly taken care of.
That's United States.
Do you understand? So the truth of the matter is charity always begins at home. Once you get it right from your own personal company and you influence the people right there with you, and then you extend to the neighbors, it will be easy for you to influence the community. So how do I find myself as the chairman of one of the biggest estates in a Etiosu local government? I never campaigned for one day to be a chairman, but I'm somebody that always take care of people around me. For instance, I normally have time to time interaction with my workers. How do you do? How are you feeling? That led me to build a quarters. I have a quarters for each of my firm. All the 5 companies, each of them have staff quarters. Because I discovered that it impacts in them the proximity of where they work to where they live has direct effect. So, and I'm also somebody that always want to play my role in the community where I find myself. So when I finished my house at Lake Atlantic Gardens and moved in, so I discovered there was no proper security around there. And I have relationship with the current IG Zone 2 then, who oversees this area. So I spoke with him, and then his second in command, who is the deputy commissioner, visited me and had interaction with me. And they gave me a backup every night for the estate. I'm not the chairman.
Yeah.
I'm not in ESCO. I don't have any post. But I know there were security lapses and there were challenges. So when the DC left my house, I called the chairman. I don't even have his number. I asked somebody, please, can you give me the number of the chairman? He gave me. I spoke with the person. The person called him. I said, can you allow RRS to be covering here every night? That while the DC was with me here, he spoke with Tunji DC, who was the commander there. and he got the permission.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you understand? So, and that was the beginning of my impartation of my community. So sometimes I will see bad spots on the road that leads to my street. I will fix it.
So, I mean, you take...
Good.
Yeah.
So as that goes on, the next AGM they have, the procedure for them to elect their chairman, they don't do official campaign. Right there, people will nominate. And then after the nomination, they do election right there. And I didn't come there to be a shaman.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know that people have ganged up against me or for me.
Okay.
So right
they
in
gave you that
the AGM,
position.
They give you that position. That's
right in
interesting.
the AGM, I was nominated by 4 people,
Great.
not prepared.
Great.
At the end of the day, I got 90-something% vote.
Ooh.
And that was a
Interesting.
signal to me that this cannot be a coincidence.
Yeah.
Good.
Some people are already having me in mind before this meeting.
And that's
So in my opening speech, while I was, after being sworn in right there and then, I heard a voice at the background, "You are coming back for the second tenor."
okay.
And I said no. I said no, I don't repeat classes. That was the first office I presided as a state chairman before I took over the amalgamated board. Even where I am, I'm not planning to come back.
Okay.
Whatever I want to do, I start it and I make sure I finish it because I see leadership and community impartation as a continuous process.
So we'll
Okay.
take we'll borrow a leaf from that.
All
Yes.
right. So from your response, I see that local community, it's not just, like a lot of us think the village, the indigent, the poor people, the village people, local community for you is everywhere and anywhere you find yourself.
Exactly.
And being useful, presenting yourself to be able to be useful, to your environment and to the people there.
Exactly.
And so taking from there, your role as the Chief Executive Officer, beyond that, you have actively involved in various other philanthropist endeavors. We'd like to know a few of them. Beyond the real estate realm, and where you live and people in your office, have you delved outside of that enclave, to touch lives?
I've done that.
How?
I have a couple of children that are under my coverage of scholarship. But I do it discreetly because we are looking for people that has what it takes to make difference. So apart from the fact that we have provision there for people that cannot afford what it takes to get to the level of education they have, we're also very careful of spotting the best brain. Do you understand? Currently, one of the children within that program is currently doing very well in Canada.
Okay.
And we still have like 4 in universities here in Nigeria. Okay. That is one I'm very passionate about because I'm seeing a lot of potentials. I'm seeing brighter future in them. So apart from that, there are a lot of them, maybe sometimes providing palliative and whatever. But to me, I see that as appetizer. Okay. I'm more passionate about the one that is impacting the future of somebody that on the long run, maybe in the next 20, 30 years, the person has become somebody. And when he traces the background, he will say it started so.
Okay.
So that is the most passionate among them all.
It's a good thing, seeing that you have a passion for learning and education and all of that. But what I want to ask you is, how do you ensure that the training and support you're giving these younger ones, is being plowed back into our system, our local communities? How do you ensure that? Because you send them to school and then they just go into the
take care of
corporate
just
world
themselves.
and they don't touch their local communities.
One thing I've learned about parenting is that anybody under your control is an innocent learner. If you want anybody to do anything, do it first.
Okay.
Your spouse, your children, whosoever that is with you. Don't play double standard. If you say you don't like lying, always say the truth. Don't tell them to lie to somebody that you are not in the office when you are there. You are starting what you will not finish.
Yeah.
So I know, I have seen a lot of things that I'm doing, them replicating it in their actions without me talking to them personally.
That's good.
I'm very optimistic that they are learning. I'm very sure. And I'm very optimistic that they will give back to the society because they are not, can I put it in the perspective that they are indirectly learning that from me. I don't know what I understand what I'm saying.
Yes, learning by example, leading by example.
Yeah.
All right. Added advantage for us today, apart from you coming to share with us as a philanthropy, how you impact the local communities, is the fact that you're a successful real estate practitioner. So you serve as chairman, you just told us, of Atlantic Layout Estates, which plays a significant role in community development. Now, how do you integrate sustainable practices into real estate projects to benefit the surrounding communities? If you look at real estate today, we have a few issues, but how do you turn that around, for the better of?
Yeah, we have a synergy with physical planning. I was with district officer last week, and that was part of the discussions we have. And I can tell you that since the amalgamation took place, we'll make sure that most of the construction that is going to take place, we have direct relationship with all the government parastatal that has to oversee the construction in that environment. So we make sure that people go through the normal process, getting approval, and getting their things right. So we do a continuous education, engage them on the reasons why they will get it right. And it's been working. And apart from that, I also have a policy of partnering with all the developers in the estate. You will agree with me that I coincidentally find myself in that post because even the amalgamated body came like that. I didn't campaign for one day. It's just that after I finished my tenure, before I finished my tenure at Lake Atlantic Gardens, I've already started making moves because the 5 big estates are using one exit and one entrance. So, but everybody is on its own. And it's a very big place. You can imagine where you have about 64 mini estates. So I saw the need for integration. I saw the need for us to come together. So I started making that move. So by the time I leave the office, I handed over, I continued. So when we finally came together, they were like, it wasn't an election. We don't have any other person to lead us than you. So, and I quickly, right there and then, started engaging the major developers in the estate. Do you understand? To make sure that we work in synergy. The way we operate there is not pay your levy. We want to partner. We are running a partnership. Do you understand?
Yes.
For instance, let me give you a typical example or 2 or 3 examples. Tiwa Danjuma has about 30 hectares inside the estate, fenced. So after I came in on board, a lot of development came and he decided to visit the place. So he came, he was very impressed. He moved into Metro and Castle and many other big estates around. We took him around. So when he came back, he said, I want to develop. Let me have your bill. So his GM spoke with me, Mr. John. He said, please, can we have your account number? And I said, no, you cannot pay development levy. You know that road that passed through there is about 1 kilometer plus. Help us do it. I don't need your money.
So
and that has been the standard.
Yeah.
So that, for example, so when I finished speaking, the people in charge of project have already set plans for the estate for long-term development. They were speaking with me. She said, allow this man to pay this money. We have our plans. I said, no, I know where I'm going. So we had the first meeting. We have the second meeting until I finally approved it. Now, something happened. When the construction, because I knew the standard he would do it. I know the standard we would have done it. When the construction started, the head of our project committee called me and said, God will bless you for us. He said, if it was another person, he would have been more interested to say that it was done by me than by him. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. But the standard the road was done was far better than what we have done.
So it was not about personal recognition.
So
it was
must
more about providing service. And adequate service and quality service for the people.
Good, and putting up strong collaboration and strong institution that can live after you. Okay. Because there is another problem in leadership here. People always are interested to say it was done during my own term.
Yes.
It was, I'm the one that do this. No, it's not the issue. The issue is, if you have that mindset to always contribute, you see leadership like something you are holding on the tip. You can easily drop it. And that does not stop you from impacting the community.
And that's a lesson we should all learn.
Yeah.
Now, okay, you've painted a lot of beautiful, rosy scenarios for us. There must be challenges.
Good.
Right? Would you want to share one or two?
I will share two major.
Few minutes.
I will share two major challenges we had and how we came out of
and
it.
Facing local communities, because we are talking about how you're impacting the local communities.
God bless you. That is where I'm heading to now. So one of the biggest challenge we had then, after the amalgamation, is that there were some part of the places that were not developed, and you have this problem with people that has lands, both in Victoria Island here, both in Lake Skinwan and wherever you find yourself within their slide. They will call one Aboki or one person and say, put up shanty, they'll be looking after my land. Yes, the land has CFO, but I don't want somebody to develop there tomorrow and we start going to court. And before you know it, you see shanty all over the places. The person put there will bring another person, and before you call, they say it was the owner that sent us. And you call the owner, they say, I'm the one that put them. So when you come aboard, we needed to eradicate that. And some of them will be there selling provisions, selling granules, and you can't stop them. So it was not giving a good corporate face to the estate. Do you understand? And it's an amalgamated body. Some are properly secured, some are open, some are just like layout. So immediately I came on board, I had a meeting with some developers, Metro and Castle, Abismart, and some other person. I said, we need to remove this, and I don't want to step on toes. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I want to achieve the result 100%. And Mr. Abdul, the owner of Metro and Castle, asked me, what do you want? And what do you have in mind? I said, if we can have enough money, we approach the matter in 3 dimensions. We speak with the owner of the land. We have made a law already. Now the implementation is the problem. We speak with the owner of the land to tell him our intention. We approach the person that built the Bako there with the business and make sure that it's not going to lose. And in all this, I'm not going to touch the estate fund. So they provided money in millions. And we started going from one of those, all these small makeshift houses they built to the other. And we meet them, we find out how much is the provision they have in the shop, how much did it cost you to build it. They don't know our intention. When we finish, what I'm telling you is practical, it's verifiable. We gave all of them money that cover their provision, cover their shanty. And I can remember categorically that Mr. Abdul still offered 20,000 extra per person.
All right, so that's one of the challenges.
Yeah.
The shanties.
No, I'm talking about how we eradicated it.
How you eradicated it.
So after we have paid them, do you understand? We give them 1 week to leave.
Okay.
And in 1 week time, even when the people that keep them was asking them not to go, their conscience should not allow them. So they quietly leave. So we now tell the owners of the land that want to keep people for security, you cannot build a makeshift. Build a proper self-contained. There will be provision for light, there will be provision for water,
sanitation,
and all facility that is needed in a house. Then go and bring the person, put him there. It shouldn't be makeshift.
As you were talking, and you mentioned shanty, and all over Lagos, that's what we have. Not only in estates, and also close to big time estates, very luxurious estates. You have shanties all over the place. So you have been able to profile a solution to that. Just recently, we heard about the discovery of loads of apartments under some bridges in Lagos. And the first question I asked myself after the commissioner, dislodged them is, where are these people going to?
Thank you.
Back into the society as what? You know, they probably were living there and doing businesses. Now their businesses have been taken, their shelter has been taken. What becomes of them? And what is the fallback to the general, you know, public? So we're getting close to rounding up this conversation,
Yes,
aren't
yeah.
we? Yeah? All right. So as a leader with a very strong commitment to community development, what advice would you give to others who are looking to make meaningful, and I mean that word, meaningful impact in their local communities?
The advice I will give them is to confront every challenge in the most productive way. I'll cite example you give now. When you want to dislodge, always put consideration the after effect to the affected people. Believe you me, as I said earlier, in all compensation we pay to eradicate shanty, no 1 naira was removed from the estate purse. If you can speak to the right people, there are a lot of people that have that philanthropic mind that are willing to give, that are willing to support. So it's for you to have the right mind of engagement. And once this is done, you have sent a message to even those people that would have considered security breach and challenges to you. Because when they are living happily, not as dejected person.
Wow.
The same thing, finally, the same thing happens. The same approach was what I also used. We were the first estate in Lekki that, apart from the estate that were segregated, that are locked up already. You know, like Lekki Skin One, there was a time they tried to stop Okada. Some are locked up, some are not locked up. So, because of the fact that it's like layout, you find it difficult to stop Okada. But we are the first layout that stopped Okada in Lekki houses. How do we do it? So when we discovered that apart from the ones that are locked up, for you to reach there, some Okada has access to everywhere. So we call them, I call them.
Time? We're almost running out of
We
have totally run out of time.
Okay.
We are, maybe we'll put that for the part 2 of this conversation.
No problem.
You know, because as I'm listening to you and watching you, I am eager to find out who really is Ebenezer Mba.
Amala.
You know, Abana is the first name.
Amala.
Yeah,
Mbamalu.
Mbamalu. Who are you? And I think I will move that to this part 2 of this conversation.
No problem.
And then we can delve exclusively and extensively in the real estate terrain. You know, I see that you're very passionate about that. All right. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you.
For me, this has been leadership masterclass.
Thank you.
You
So
know,
much.
and I really appreciate your contribution. You know, we've learned a lot from this, and I hope that we'll be able to have you.
Again
Looks
and
like
again
you'll
and
be a
again.
very busy person, but I hope we'll be able to have you again
That would be
on
my
the
pleasure,
program.
no
Very
problem.
commendable, very commendable. The work that you do, you're shining the light, you're bringing circle and relief to local communities, and that is very, very important. So let's do this again, like I said.
It's
All
my
right,
pleasure.
if you find the time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
So, well done. And thanks for letting us know how and why we should join you in this assignment.
Thank
That
you,
was
John. Thank you,
Amala
Helen.
Ebenezer Mbamalu, impacting local communities. Indeed, yes.
All right, remember it's still today with John and Helen live on Plus TV Africa, and Chizoba Ofegbu and Pelumi Nobi will come later on the culture conversation segment. I think that's where we're going next. We will move the Keep Fit segment for next week. We will.
Yep.
All right, then. So let's catch Chizoba Ofegbu and Pelumi. That lady is, wow. You can't miss this conversation. Let's join them now.